It says it's not working.
Just in case. Nobody knows.
Oh no, it was working.
I told you.
You're right. I'm sorry. Okay. Hello, all. Welcome. Welcome to Mindful Success, where we talk about tips and tricks to live your whole life using mindfulness, connection to other people, emotional intelligence. Today, we're going to talk about intentions versus goals and getting stuck in intention-ville.
But first, we always like to start with a stretch and a deep breath. So I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose where you get more oxygen. And then I want you to take your arms up and stretch and feel those muscles stretching out. Hear the cracks, especially if you're my age, and wonder if you're going to start a percussion band and then let it out. Woo! All right, feeling much better. Now we can start.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so we talk a lot about intentions. It's one of the things that we teach, and we've been talking so much about intention, we realize that you can get stuck just in the intention. But I don't think we've talked to you about that. So first, okay, we're back.
Are we?
Oh my God.
We set an intention to do a live Facebook video.
This is crazy. I don't know exactly what's happening. Okay, so we're gonna assume everything's fine. We're just gonna pick up right where we left off. I hope. Oh, criminy. Okay. So we've been talking about intentions a lot. We teach a lot about intention setting and how to set up value-driven intentions. So we wanted to clarify the difference between intentions and goals. So intentions are a necessary prerequisite to accomplish whatever you want. You have to have the mindset. You have to have the framing of where you want to go. But then you also need to have tasks and an ultimate goal that you can kind of check off and you can work towards.
There's actually been a whole school of study on the psychology of like goal completion. And they say technically not announcing your goal will actually increase your likelihood of completing it, because our brain, like our amygdala and everybody thing, our prefrontal cortex gives us all the good gimmies, the dopamine and the serotonin. When we tell somebody, Danny, I'm going to go plant-based and lose so much weight.
Yay.
And we get that, yay, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. That's so great. And you're like, oh, feed me, which actually means you can get stuck there. Stuck in what I call intention-ville. So it's supposed to be like a train station that you just kind of, you transition in. Gare du Nord in France, probably King's Crossing in London, Grand Central Station in America. And but the idea is that that's just a checkpoint. It's not where you like set up and you live. And sometimes we set up and we live there because we do a lot of thought. We think so much. We spend an intense amount of time thinking about it. Think about it. Well, if I do this, think about, will I do that? Think about, will I do this? But if we don't actually take those steps, then we're really just pacing in the train station, and we're never getting on the train to get to the destination that we've said that we bought a ticket to, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, what intention-ville is and how we get stuck there. And here's the deal. You're not alone. This is a very busy train station and a lot of people are there. Some people have gotten tents and they're camping out and they've actually turned it into a whole home. And then sometimes there's like parties, like you have like a block party of all the tent people that are getting together and they're like, woo, especially around January 1st, where people have like, I'm going to do this. And it's this huge celebration of their intentions, of their goals, right? And how many goals, what is it, like 98% of goals are abandoned by February 1st? So we want to talk today about how you can not abandon those goals and not get stuck in that train station, which I'm not going to say isn't fun. I mean, it has some fun, but it's not going to get you where you want to go.
So yeah, and the first part really is about initially setting your intention and making sure that your intention is in line with who you are, what you value, what's important to you. So this is another problem with all the New Year's resolutions. People set intentions or resolutions that are what other people think are important. Like, you need to do this or that or the other thing, but they're not what you value, what you find important. So the first part is to figure out what's important to you and to set an intention to do more of what is important to you.
Yeah, and the what is important to you. I mean, we've done a lot of conversation about, how to discover your values, how to create and craft your own ethical beacon. And then, so the foundational values are kind of like who you are, and then kind of the pillars to happiness. And in order for you to find success in these intentions, is they really need to be customized to you. So what's important to you? And if I say, let me give you an example for me personally. I want to go plant-based and lose weight because I want to be pretty. Well, guess what? Being pretty is not one of my values. I don't really care about it one way or the other. But I have other values where if I link it to one of those values and one of those pillars, I actually have a greater likelihood of succeeding because it is actually important to me.
And then the next step is, once you have your intention and visualizing that ultimate goal, why you want to get to that goal, why it's important to you, then figuring out what are the steps that you need to take, what will count to move you towards that. So for example, like one of my values is a connection, is relationships, it's family relationships, it's connecting to other human beings. And that's my intention, right? My intention is to genuinely connect to other people. But during the course of my day, I get distracted, right? I have to work on this stuff. I have to get this deadline. I have to do this other thing. And I get focused on whatever that task is at hand. And I forget that while I'm focusing on this task, I also need to make sure that I check in with somebody to say, like, I can see you. You are important to me, kind of thing, right?
The Navi.
I don't.
Okay, everybody who got that out there. Nerddom. It's not even my nerddom.
Isn't that Avatar?
Yes, it's not my nerddom.
It's just weird CGI thing. I just can't with that.
I'm
one.
with you. I'm with you.
I mean, there's so much.
I hear you on that one.
Anyway, okay. Where were we?
You were talking about connecting and checking in with people because that's a value for you.
Yes.
And that you sometimes lose that intention because life happens.
So how do you make sure that you remember to check in with that? So you have that intention. What are you going to do to make sure you check back in with that intention and that you act on that? So one of the ways that works for me, and this works for Heather too, is that you write it down. And then at some point throughout the day, go back and look at what you wrote down to make sure that you're doing what you said that you would do. Right. So do you want to talk about your example yesterday?
Right. So this week, I had noticed, Danny and I had both noticed. So as you notice, we're here in the same physical space. I can touch my sister, which by the way is amazing because she lives in the middle of the country. It's a place they call the Midwest. It's flat. Things happen there. I don't know, but I live on the West Coast where it's sunny and we can't afford housing. But being here together, it's thrown off our morning and evening rituals, the independent rituals that we have created. So I retire at a certain time every night. I do certain things in my bedroom every night. And then I wake up at a certain time and I do all these certain things. And what I have been doing is I want to stay up as late as possible with my sister and do stuff with my sister. And then I want to sleep in as late as possible and stumble into the bedroom or into the living room and not be awake, but it means my rituals have been off. So I've been off. I've been feeling rudderless. I've been feeling like I lacked structure. And I was incapable of getting shit done, to be really frank. And I said, Danny, we need to get back to our rituals. What are our rituals? And for me, in order to when I feel like everything is out of control, I try to get really micro. And I'm like, okay, what is important to me? I have to check in with my values, with my pillars, and like what is really important to me right now or in general. And then I need to define the structure for me. So, but I was like feeling crazy and everything.
This is the worst. We are having such big internet problems. This is the worst.
Okay, so what did I do? I'm going to move into my solutions, and then Danny's going to talk about her struggle and her solutions. So what did I do is I wrote out what I wanted my rituals to be right now, what I needed to help. And when I talk about it being like basic, let me talk about the first thing that I did was my evening ritual was, brush your teeth, wash your face, and those are the basics, right? And so I had brushed my teeth, and I was like, all right, I brushed my teeth. And then I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, well, I didn't wear makeup today. Do I have to wash my face? Like, really? Like, is that really a requirement? How dirty can it be? And I was like, I wrote it down because I did. And I put a little box in, and I like to color in my box. It's very important to me to color in my box. And I wrote it down, and I was like, you wrote it down, wash your face. And what I did was I have this face wash that comes in these little discs, these little cotton discs that you rub all over your face and then throw away. Super wasteful, and I'm going to destroy the planet with it. But to be fair, I only have a few left, and then I won't buy that anymore. But that's not the point. And what I did was I wanted to wash my face with the disc. There's a lot of guilt going on here. And I washed my face with my disc, and then I looked at it, and I was like, holy moly, is a very dirty disc. And I was like, but I had no makeup on. And that was just oil and dirt and grime that was trying to like burrow into my pores, much like we do at the train station of Intention-ville, and make little bacteria babies. And I was like, no bacteria babies, because I washed my face. And I was super happy that I did that. So for me, I gave myself some proof and some evidence that I am doing the right thing, right? And that helped me be better. And then the next morning I woke up and I wrote all these things down that I needed to do. And I'm like, I guess I should shower. I guess I should. And I'm just being real now, because in 2020 and 2021, there'd be days when you wouldn't have showered, because who's going to notice you on Zoom? If your hair looks like hell, who's going to really know that you didn't shower? But I know that that's one of those things that is a part of my ritual. And so I showered anyway, and I was like, magical shower power. Anyway, so I write it down, and that helps me make those moves.
Yeah. So, and there are things that writing it down also works for me, but for me, I have a little bit looser structure. So for me, what's really helpful is defining my intention and then writing a master list of anything that counts for that intention. And then I can look at that master list, and I just have to do one. It's like a, choose your own adventure, or like a drop-down menu where you pick one. So like my intention is to connect to other people, to have genuine relationships with people. So what would count for that? So normally it would be like, I could text a friend, I could text my sister, I could call someone. In a meeting, I could, before I jump into things, I can ask someone how they are. I could write a personal email, not a work task related email.
Wait, people write personal emails and communicate with people?
It happens. Yeah. And I do that now more because I have this list. And so what I will have on my daily list is like, do one thing on the list. And then I still have something to check off. I need something to check off. And that might be text one friend, communicate with one person that doesn't have to do with work. And then I know I'm making progress towards that. So it's a combination of those things. But basically our big solutions to this problem is, one, be intentional about your intention. So know what you want, make sure it's aligned with who you are and what you value. Know what the end goal is, why you're doing it, why this is so important to you. And then write it down. Write down either the tasks that are associated with that intention or that goal, or what counts as the little steps on the way to get you there. Anything else?
No, yeah, that's really, it can be that simple, but I want to be really clear that you can't do both of Danny and I's systems simultaneously. So my system is I write down and I want to do everything on my list. And if I don't do everything, and that's why I keep my list intentionally very short. It's very short because I know myself. If it's too overwhelming, I will abandon it, right? And again, know thyself is very important. So if I had a list like Danny's, for me, that's overwhelming because I'd be like, I wrote all these things down. I need to do all these things. I get a little anxious, and anxiety is not a place I live normally. So you can't do both. You would have to pick what works best for you. If you need options, the way Danny does it is an excellent idea. If you need structure, and mind you, you don't have to pick one and stick with it for the rest of your life. So for example, if I feel like, okay, I got this washing my face thing down, then I can be like, maybe I'll move on and I'll still have the washing the face thing, but I'll have some options for additional things that I want to do. But you have to be very flexible with yourself and give yourself some compassion, when you're making those changes. But don't overwhelm yourself with everything. And also, you may need to figure out what works best for you, because you're a different person from us. And I mean, as it turns out, we're different people from each other. It's a weird thing sometimes, but so figuring out what works best for you can be trial and error, but just try.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. So those are some suggestions about ways to get started, how to move out of Intention-ville, how to get into the Intention train station, but then get out to your destination.
Get on that train.
We're running with that metaphor. That just came up this morning, and bam. Okay. So we always end these with a little meditation. And so we're going to do a little meditation to help you visualize your intention and visualize moving towards the goal of that intention. So,
and I do it with her, and it counts as my meditation.
It's helpful. Yeah, it'll be quick. Settle yourself into a comfortable position. If you're seated, try to get your feet planted on the ground so that you feel grounded. Sit up straight, but not rigid. Just make sure that your air passages are open so that you could breathe. Settle into position. Start by taking a deep breath in through your nose. Let it fill up your chest, fill up your belly. Hold it for a moment and then let it go. Exhale slowly like a balloon deflating. Do it again. Inhale a deep cleansing breath. Feel yourself grounded in this moment. And then exhale, feeling relaxed, centered, ready and open to your intention. Now I'd like for you to visualize, imagine something that's important to you, an intention, something that you believe in, that you want to accomplish, something that you value, something that you want to put out into the world. Now visualize that intention as this beautiful destination. It can be like a mythical fairyland, it can be a forest or a beach. Imagine that intention, that goal as your destination, your final destination. Now look down at your feet and imagine that there's just a blank grassy land that goes from here to your final destination. With that intention, that goal in mind, visualize one tiny small step you can take that would move you closer to that final goal. Imagine it like a stepping stone. Visualize that small step as a stone. Place it down in front of you. Step on the stone. Now imagine that you've taken that step, it's filling you up. You're one step closer to fulfilling that final goal. Now imagine one more small step that you can take to reach that final goal. Visualize what that small step is, package it into a stepping stone. Place the stepping stone in front of you on the ground. Step on that stone. Now look back at the steps that you've taken. Now you're closer to your goal. Look towards your final goal. Feel the progress that you're making. We're going to end the meditation now here at this point, knowing that you're making progress on your journey, that you still have a ways to go, but that you can visualize each step, imagine yourself stepping forward each time. So take a moment now to breathe in the progress that you've made, the intention that you have, the feeling that you want to embody, the goal that you want to achieve. Breathe that in, let it fill up your body. And exhale, relax. One more to close, come back to this moment. Inhale, bringing your awareness back to where you are in the moment. Exhale, and now joining us. How's that?
That was awesome. Except for when I woke up and I saw that thing behind me and I was like, holy crap, that's creepy.
In careful with your decor, people. It affects your mindset.
But that was awesome. So we walked through this before, and I did a slightly different one when we tested out this meditation, and I did a different one this time. And I was like, now I'm like, I need to start writing some of these things down so I can not stay in this train station.
Yep. So we'll end now. Write down any insights that came up for you, any of the steps that came to help you reach your final goal. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye. Have a great week.